Hello, I'm Liam from Lazarus Personal Training, the founder of the No Shoe Crew, and this is your workout from home if you don't have any traditional gym equipment. But guess what? If you're at home, you do have equipment. We just need to be a little bit more creative with the things that we've got around us. The way that this is going to work is that you have 3 blocks. In those blocks are 3 exercises, and I want you to repeat 1, 2, 3, and then rest at the end for about 30-45 seconds before repeating that again. And we're going through that block 3 times. There's different rep ranges in each of these blocks, so I'll go through those as we're going through the exercises. What you need for this is a big towel, a rucksack with some weight in it, so books or tins or whatever you can put in there, and finally your sofa or a couch or just a sturdy chair. And before we start, make sure you're properly warmed up, make sure you can squat correctly, you can hinge from your hips and that your shoulders are feeling in a good range of motion. So just have a little bit of a move around and a test. If there's anything that doesn't feel super comfortable, make sure that feels a little bit more warmed up before you go into this workout. Block A is all based around a big towel. So exercise number 1 is a heel elevated squat. So what I want you to do is roll that towel up, place your heels onto the towel so your heels are up at a slight angle and your toes are onto the floor and you're pressing down into the ground. From there, core's tight, shoulders are set, and we're going to open the hips back and down and drive the knees out. The reason why we have elevated heels in this position is to allow the ankles to move a little bit easier so we can get a fuller range of motion and get more work out of the quads when it comes to this squat. We go 20 reps of this, controlled slow movements. I don't want you to drop into the bottom of the squat. I want you to control your way sitting down and control your way driving back up again, coming to a full extension up at the top. Movement number 2 is an isometric towel row. So what I want you to do is sit down on the floor and loop that towel over the bottom of your feet. I would then want you to take hold of the towel with a slight bend into your arm so you can get a little bit of movement out of it, and then I want you to pull that towel towards you, squeezing your shoulder blades and pulling your arms into your sides. Now you might not get a big range of motion out of that. That's fine. What I want you to think about is just squeezing as hard as you can with your back, with your shoulder blades squeezing together, and we go 3 reps of 10 seconds. So this should be around 30 seconds of work. So you hold and squeeze for 10 seconds, relax, hold and squeeze for 10 seconds, relax, hold and squeeze for 10 seconds. And again, we get that back lighting up and squeezing your shoulder blades. And then movement number 3 is a big towel battle rope. Now, if you've ever done battle ropes in the gym, you know they are a nasty piece of kit that gets your heart rate and your breathing rate really spiked up. We can do the same thing at home with a big towel. So all I want you to do is just take the ends of those and just whip it. Whip it as hard as you can up and down for 20 seconds and make sure it's a full 20 seconds. Heart rate and breathing rate should be up. Make sure your feet are planted. Make sure your core's tight. Make sure you're getting a big full range of motion out of that whip and just go for 20 seconds. Block number 2 is all based around the rucksack. So get that rucksack, fill it up with stuff and get ready for this. Movement number 1 is a rucksack good morning. Now a good morning is called a good morning because it's a bend or a bow forward. But what I want you to think about with this is that you're not bending forward, your hips are going backwards. So we get the rucksack up onto his chest and we hold it tight to his body. Feet are planted into the ground and your hips are going to go backwards towards the wall as if you're shutting a car door with your bum. Hips go back as far as they can go. There's a soft bend in the knee and you should feel a bit of a pull coming into the hamstring. Once you find that point where you can't go any further without bending your shoulders forward, I want you to return to the top and squeeze as hard as you can. Squeeze your butt as hard as you can. We're going to go 20 reps out of this, and again, slow controlled movement. Movement number 2 is a rucksack lying tricep extension. You may also be familiar with these as tricep skull crushers. Now don't worry, you're not going to cave your skull in. It's just where we're taking that bag. Now with this, the way that I would hold the rucksack is up at the top of the strap, near the top of the bag. I want you to tightly squeeze that, laying down on the floor. We're going to press his arms up, keeping his elbows up high. We're going to bend from the elbow. We want to place that just over the top of his head, and then we want to drive the arm back up and tall so we get a squeeze out of the tricep. So this is going to work the back of your arm, your shoulder and your core, and again we want to make sure that his feet are planted into the ground. And then the final movement out of this is a rucksack sit-up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take hold. Usually rucksacks have a little loop on the top of them. Make sure you've got hold of that, arm comes up into the air. From there, your opposite arm is going to lay out to the side and your opposite leg is going to be straight. Your closer leg is going to be up on its foot. With your arm up into the air, I just want you to sit up tall and sit up as high as you can. We then control his way back down again before sitting up again, and we're going to perform 6 reps on each side. So this is a core movement, and again I want you sitting up and high, keeping your arm pushing up towards the ceiling. Block 3 is all based around your sofa or chair that you've got. Movement number 1 I've listed as a single leg glute bridge. However, if that's a little bit too difficult at this moment in time, put both feet on. Ideally though, we're going to go single leg, hip is down to the floor, and then I want you to drive your hips up as high as you can and squeeze your glutes. This is a big range of motion for your posterior chain or your glute, and again, heel is driving into the seat and we drive the hips up as high as we can. And again, if that's a little bit too difficult at this moment in time, just place both on. If you're doing single leg, we'll go in 10 reps. If you go 2 legs, we'll go in 20 reps. From there, our next movement is an incline push-up position on the sofa. Now, push-ups are hard. They're a difficult movement and I want you to go for 20 reps. So for a lot of us, 20 reps of a push-up is going to be hard. When we go into an incline, we make that movement slightly easier. But now what I want you to do is really focus on the tempo that you're creating and getting a big, full range of motion out of this. 10 to 20 reps out of this, again, depends on where you're feeling. If you start losing your form and you go from great form to good form to maybe not so good form, rest there. And then from there, we go into some plank sofa taps. So in that position, we go into a plank or into a push-up position in front of the sofa. And then what I want you to do is bring your hand up, touch the sofa, back down, and touch the sofa with your other hand. Keep your core tight, try and keep your hips as stable as possible. Don't let them swing side to side, keep them tight, keep them locked, and keep tapping that sofa up and down. We go 20 reps on each side with that. That takes us through that workout. Now hopefully going through that you can see that you can make your own home a gym just by using equipment that you've got in your house. If you struggled with any movements there, please let me know and I'll pick a movement that's a little bit more appropriate for you. If you enjoyed this workout, please give it a like, give it a share with someone that might be struggling with not having a gym around them. If you really like this content, please subscribe to the channel because I'm uploading stuff on a fairly regular basis. I've been Liam and I will see you next time.